Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mental Rover Podcast. I am one of your hosts, T Rex, and as always, we have that big, ugly Scottish guy we know and love,
Big.
Pipes.
Wait a minute, I'm half your size.
Yeah?
Now, I'll accept the old part, but the big part, I'm not there yet.
You're big by name. Everybody knows you, man.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Today we have a very good friend of Pipes that's going to be joining us on the podcast, so I'll give Pipes the honor of introducing this week's guest.
Tom, I've known you for what, 35 years at least?
At least.
30,
Do you want to
30,
admit to
35.
that? Hold up.
It's been a long while.
It's been a long while. Tom is one of those people who come along once in a lifetime. His name's J. Thomas. How's it go?
J. Thomas Davis.
J-
Too many words.
Way too many words. So it's Tom Davis to everybody out there. And you are a Renaissance man of sorts.
A dreamer.
Definitely a dreamer. But the thing is, you made your dreams come true.
Slowly.
Slowly.
Yes, very
All right.
slowly. But
Tom, tell everybody out there what you do or have done for a long, long time.
well, since about 1973, I was on the path of making instruments, and initially was going to Ohio State Music School and had seen a harpsichord in a music history book. And I had been working my way through college as a carpenter and decided to try to blend the two. But I ended up making a guitar due to a fellow that used to own the string shop on campus right across from Union, John Hoppy. He said, well, you're a guitarist, build a guitar. And I said, people build guitars? And he gave me the one and only book on the subject at the time.
There was only one book out on how to build a guitar.
If you remember the little golden books, that's...
It was a little golden book?
No, but those are the size... That's
the size of it.
Oh, is that small?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can't tell if there's 60 pages or
Goodness.
something, you know.
For you young kids out there that might be listening, the little golden books were teeny tiny, maybe, 20 pages? If that.
Yeah,
little kid books.
And they were like about 6 inches by 6 inches.
They were super
in
small.
size.
These were about the same, maybe a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
They were maybe, I don't know, 6 by 7.5.
And I got you started.
And so my intention was to build a guitar for myself. Again, blending the education I was getting along with the carpentry skills that I had. And another student wanted one when I finished mine, and I built a second one, and then another, and a third. And my guitar instructor at Ohio State at the time, was named Bruce Everett, had been an advisor, a consultant for Wilson classical guitars. And he suggested I consider making guitars for a living. So when I got out, I opened a shop on Grandview Avenue in Columbus, Grandview, right where the Stoff stands today.
No. And that was it, huh?
That was it.
Now, let me ask you this, Tom. Do you have that first guitar still?
I do have that first guitar.
Wow. Have I seen it? Have you shown it to me?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think you have either.
It's probably not a presentation piece that I would be inclined to show people. but it's a nice sounding guitar.
Oh, yeah. That's like me if I wanted to show you one of my first paintings. No, I wouldn't dare. But you were telling me a story. Did you go down to the bluegrass shop one time with your guitar?
Oh, I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I opened a shop on Grandview Avenue. It was 1977. And I sold instruments, some strings and accessories, had lessons there, did some repairs, and built a few instruments. But at that time, steel string guitars anyway, there wasn't a Gibson or Martin. It was pretty hard to sell. But I did have a friend that worked in Milfy's Music over in Northern Lights. he was in dental school, and he worked over there in the afternoons, and asked me to bring one of my guitars by. And there were some bluegrass players over there he thought might be interested. And they looked at the guitar, and where'd you get the neck? I said, well, I made it. Where'd you get the box? Well, I made that too. Well, it just went on. Finally, I said, homemade guitar, huh? And that was pretty much the attitude by many, many people. Since then, music magazines have featured one individual maker after another. The craft has grown. I think I was the 50th member of the only national guild. Not which there are 50 people in Columbus today that build guitars.
Yeah,
Not, for a living, but
right.
So
Is that like the National Luthiers Association?
it's the Guild of American Luthiers.
Okay.
Yep.
Luthiers,
Yeah.
okay. That's amazing.
So is it kind of like the old, like beers and stuff like that, where for the longest time it was, if it wasn't the main guys, it was nothing, and then all of a sudden the micro started up and it just took off? Is that?
That's a good analogy. Another one that I read about, and I think is also a good analogy, is so we 50 individual makers kept in touch with this guild. We had to make most of our own tools and jigs and things, unless it was just a common woodworking tool. We've actually invented some things that are now in the mainstay of fine woodworking.
Oh,
tools.
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But anyone got an idea, they found something that worked, came up with a jig or a tool, they'd write about it, diagram it, send it into the guild, and 4 times a year those things would come out to all the members.
Oh.
And the craft did increase. And I would say, at the time, most of us weren't probably building guitars as good as Gibson and Martin.
Right.
But it didn't take too many years before the tables were turned, and if you look at, some of these guitars today, they are now imitating the techniques of the individual builders.
Oh, wow.
So the other analogy that I think is pretty fair also is I've seen a couple of writers refer to this age in terms of guitar making, comparing it with the Cremona period in Italy, where Stradivari and Amati and Guarni were working.
Right.
And I think it's very, very true.
Oh, sure.
So that's been the fun of it for me, is to start out with this romantic idea of building an instrument for myself, and then to see the craft grow. And in fact, there are manufacturers call me and ask me the questions today.
Oh, wow.
Got an email from a manufacturer today that's has some new ideas, electric guitars, and is going to take some prototypes to the NAMM show, which is the big music industry association trade show in Nashville in July, and asked if I'd set them up before he took them.
You had to set them up before he took them
Yeah.
out. So what I'm gathering from this is that you actually were a pioneer.
You could say that.
I just did.
People have asked me how I learned this. I've said the school of hard knocks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I was in your shop not too long ago, and you showed me something that you had created because you couldn't find something that did it. Was it to bend the body, or what was that?
Bend sides. So
bend sides, right?
yeah, and that's not a new thing. It's new for me. So when I started this, most of the individual luthiers that were able to sell instruments were building classical guitars. Classical guitar players was a very different thing than steel string guitar players who were buying the Gibsons and Martins.
Right.
And so my first efforts were strictly in the classical guitar tradition. Sizes have been around a hot pipe. And I suppose it's been about 15, 20 years ago, one of the fellows that was working with me, and I set out to build, a side bending machine. We got it about 80% going and got busy and sitting over there. And every time I build a guitar, I think, I should get that thing out now and get it going. I think, well, I could spend 3 or 4 weeks with it, or I could bend those sides this afternoon. So
Yeah.
So I am changing some processes right now. It has to do with my state in life, my age, and standardizing more than starting out creating a set of blueprints and building an instrument.
Right. So instead of doing a one-off, you're doing something a little bit more production-oriented?
A little more production-oriented, yeah.
Right.
And so it's been incumbent for me to finish this side bending machine and a number of other things.
Yeah. So you have a final project that you've been working on, a legacy project, if I can call it that. How far along are you with that now?
I'm probably about halfway. I'm building 6 instruments for my family, and that was the real reason for this change in my methods. And the more I made these changes, I'm thinking, this is going to help an old man maybe keep building instruments for another 10 years.
There you go.
So yes, but I'm building. I shouldn't say 6 instruments that are exactly the same. They're going to be the same size, shape, different woods,
Different woods,
which
okay.
will impart different.
Now, did
tones.
the family each pick out what types of wood they liked, or are you just deciding you're going to get this one, you're going to get that one?
No, what I did was that I picked out a number of sets of wood that I would enjoy using for any of them.
There you go.
And I said, take your pick. And I said, if there are 2 of you who want the same thing, I probably have another set of it,
Yeah.
could be used. So that's what happened. And I've spent more time reprocessing, building the side bending machine and a whole bunch of other things than I have actually on the instruments. So, but I'm about halfway with the instruments.
Now, are you going to write up your side bending machine and put it out in the newsletter for the society?
Well, I don't know that it's that unique. There are a lot of different examples, and I think I've taken some of the things that I thought were the better parts, and combined it into what makes sense for me, and I've been happy with it.
Oh, good.
Now, quick question, because I know nothing about building instruments, so I'm over here like, when you're saying side bending, are we dealing with an acoustic guitar, or what type of guitar are we dealing with when we're talking side bending, in case someone else out there may have the same questions I do?
That's a very good question. Acoustic guitar, yes. Specifically, as a legacy guitar, as Glenn says, I think I like that word, are steel string guitars. So acoustic guitars can be several different types, primarily nylon string, classical guitars, or steel string flat top guitars. And then there is one other acoustic guitar also that's played by jazz players. It has a arch top and back carved, so the top and back resemble a fiddle in terms of the shape of it.
Well, that's interesting. So when you are bending this, are you doing like the only way I know is building a ship, how they have to heat up or steam the wood to get it to bend, or is that?
So initially I had a pipe that was about 4 inches diameter, pretty heavy piece of material, came out of a radio station, scrap, I don't know what it was used for, and I've closed the end of it and both ends, but one end has a hole in it, and just a simple propane torch goes in there. And heat it up to, it amounts to about 500 degrees, I think. I know when it's right by flicking water onto it.
Okay.
And if it just turns to steam right away, it's a little too hot. What I'm looking for it to just kind of dance on this pipe.
Kind of like when you're cooking, how you want that water bead to just dance around and know it's at that right temp.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that was, the way I initially did it, and then just kept matching what I was doing in that process to a template, a half template. I usually make out of masonite, just for the stiffness. So they take the shape of a guitar, which is symmetric on both sides, typically, if it does not have a cutaway.
Right.
Make a...
When we're talking cutaway, are we talking like back there?
That is the cutaway.
Okay, so it has that little indentation. Okay.
Gives the player higher notes accessible. So it's just a matter of wetting the wood, so which steams, as you say, and just bending it with pressure until it matches.
Oh, so you're actually soaking the wood, not actually blowing steam.
And I just sponge it off. Just
okay.
And
okay.
let that sit for just a couple of minutes and bend it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now I have this apparatus with I don't know what they're called, but it looks like a wine press, a crank, that have one that comes down and makes the waste, another one that attaches on the front one doing the cutaway side that does the cutaway, and then a couple of pieces that are on springs that pull the ends around and down.
Kind of like a heavy duty vise almost.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So, okay, let's talk about that real quick. So you're going from the old school way where you used to bend it with water and things like that to this new press. So how much time are you saving by mechanicalizing, if you will? I mean, is it a significant amount, or is it rather just a little bit?
It would probably take me, and it depends upon the shape of the guitar. A Dreadnought steel string is the easiest and quickest to bend because none of the curves are very deep. And I might be able to do a Dreadnought in an hour or two. Guitars like we're looking at here that have a very deep waist and then a cutaway, spend the afternoon bending those. So when I got this machine ready, I cut some pieces of maple, had some flame maple boards in the basement that really were cabinet material, not guitar material. But I used those for practice. And got ready, got it all started, and put it on a timer, and 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's huge.
That is way huge.
That's wow. I mean, nothing can be said for doing it by hand because you're getting that extra touch. But I mean, if you need to get something out quick and the customer doesn't care,
it's still a slow process, but
sure. But 3 minutes versus half a day.
There's a difference.
Wow. Wow. That's impressive.
Tom, over the years, you've met and done work for some really important, famous people.
More repair work than anything.
Right.
So,
more repair work.
So going back to 1977 Grandview Avenue, and I was running a store, doing some repairs and building some instruments, and I found after about 5 years, I was spending all my time running a store. I sold the store. Part of the sales agreement was that I kept my space within the store, which was a nice arrangement. I didn't have to move. I didn't have to keep hours anymore.
Yeah.
Come and go as I please. But then the repairs grew and grew and grew. But repair work, I've done work for everybody from Indigo Girls to Metallica. I mean, just quite a variety.
Wow.
I'm building guitar for the Cockade. Arlo Guthrie has one,
Yeah.
but repairs just kept coming from farther and farther, and I still have people that fly from Florida and drop off a guitar for setup,
Yeah.
come back 2 weeks later and pick it up.
Wow.
So, and that then brings on, the last stage, I guess, of my career was 4 years ago. I just made some big changes. I had people working for me, again, in the service business, and we didn't work for all the manufacturers. And just literally every major manufacturer, Fender electric guitars. I done work for Ever, and then they started a new program for their custom shop owners. And they had 30 people in the country, and we're one of those. So we were just very, very busy.
Oh yeah.
And the way the world works today, I mean, I'll be starting with people that have had experience, but still, they needed to be trained, so that if you came in with your guitar, you couldn't tell whether I did the work or somebody else.
Right.
You're happy.
Right.
If there's a difference in style, then there's some grumbling.
Sure.
So, it took a long time to get people in the groove, and then the way of the world, somebody's leaving, and get married, and the girl lives out of town, and she teaches school, and
Right.
That's just the way it happens. So, I just always found that I was still supervising and had my hand in repairs. And so 4 years ago, I said, at my age, I set out to be an artist, a
Right.
craftsman.
Yeah.
In the 70s, I wanted to be a good businessman, but I want to spend the last few years being an artist.
So you want to go back to your roots.
My wife doesn't understand it. She says, "You're retired. Why do you go in there 5 days a week, 8 hours a day?" And I said, "Because I go in with a great big cup of coffee. I lock the door behind me. There's nobody inside, and nobody's coming in. I make sawdust, and that's what I like to do."
There you go.
So now I'm the romantic artist that I set
Started
out to
out
be.
yeah.
All
Well,
those,
that's
all
cool.
those
It took
years.
you all these years to finally get your passion, huh?
Yeah,
And get to that point.
yeah. So I built instruments along the way, but it's been the smaller part of the deal, just because it was not unusual for us to have 120 instruments in the shop at one time for service.
Oh, wow.
And we did most of them in 2 days.
That's impressive.
That's a great
48
turnaround.
48 hours, yeah.
Yeah. So, those of you out there who have listened to the podcast before know that I'm on the Dublin Irish Festival Entertainment Committee, and Tom is on there with me as well. In fact, Tom, I think, was somewhat instrumental in keeping me on there when I first showed up one night. But, Tom, you also have a folk band as well.
General Guinness Irish Band.
Yes. And in my way of thinking, it is the best regional Irish band out there, and I have loved General Guinness since day one. and Susan and I have followed you for many, many years.
You very kindly have.
There's nothing kindly about it. We enjoy it. And every incarnation of the band, every so often people, like you said, come in, go out, and I don't think we've not enjoyed the band ever.
I would say playing in the band is like being married to 6 people at the same time.
It is. It is. Oh my God, it is.
So we've been together since 1980. We've been doing it for so long. We've had not one but 2 people retire from the band, then come back.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Now, how did you start the band, and who were the original members?
Original members were Larry Doolin, fiddle
Right.
player, myself, and Jay Crabtree. Was one of the people that he was in the band for, boy, I don't know, 20 years, dropped out and came back, and just dropped back out again.
Now, was he the bass player?
He played bass, he played banjo, he
Oh.
played guitar.
Oh, yeah.
He was a very effective singer. But those 3 of us, and I think we played together for less than a year. And Kim Mulholland joined, who was the one that introduced the 2 of us.
Yes, she was.
And she was in it until she moved out of town. Actually, she moved.
Wisconsin.
Before that, she was in Medina.
Oh, okay.
Not Medina, Northwest Ohio, up south of Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
And she still played with the band. No, she moved to Wisconsin. That was just too far. We've grown to 7 people now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you take up some stage space.
Yes.
And a lot of cables.
A lot of cables. That's fun.
Yeah, it is.
So where can people see you?
We don't play a whole lot in Columbus. We play at Natalie's once or twice a year, at Burns Pub once or twice a year, the Dublin Festival twice a year.
Yeah.
We played just a couple of weeks ago. There's a new festival in the Bridge District. Is that what
Bridge Park.
Bridge Park
Bridge Park in
District
Dublin.
Dublin. They have a festival. This was the 2nd year. So, we do some other things, but we don't have a regular house.
Okay.
Play more out of town than we do
Really?
in town, yeah.
Pays better out of town.
Does it?
Pays better. A lot of things are better. They're largely little opera houses or theaters, playing for arts associations, art presenters,
Okay.
in towns that can't afford international entertainment.
Huh.
And then some festivals too. So it's fun. It's fun to go into these little places in Ohio you've never heard of and set up and go look for a place to eat before you play and ask them where the local people go.
Yeah.
You know.
I do.
You play those little places too with
We
Matt
haven't
Malden?
gotten on that circuit yet.
Yeah.
We've gotten on the festival circuit, which is kind of the same thing. And you go into a little town and.
Well, you haven't played up at the Irish Festival in Wisconsin or Milwaukee, right?
No, haven't done
Have you
that.
done that one?
We haven't.
Okay. I was just wondering if maybe you would hit that one because those are the rival ones, right?
Yeah, Dublin and Milwaukee.
Yeah, they are. We have honestly never approached them. And the reason is Glenn and I well know that it's it's easy. It's very difficult for us to figure out which of the headliners we're going to leave out. There's just no shortage of good bands. So the headliners, they all have their own draw. They're known around the world. The local bands have a local draw.
Mm.
But what we have very few of, because it's really difficult, are regional bands. So a band from Milwaukee, they're not going to have any draw at the Dublin Festival. They could be a great band.
Yeah.
So for that reason, we just never bothered them.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
And there's some people around here
that have and have done fairly well.
And I think probably, if you want to do that and be fair to everybody, you go up there and start playing some bars and make a name for yourself.
Exactly.
We haven't been willing to do that.
Put in the time to get the draw. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And you played down at Terra Hall.
Terra Hall. You should slap me in the side of the head. I forgot that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
If there was a place this would be our home, it would probably be Terra Hall.
Yeah, that's the way we feel as well. Because when I first started Mad Maudlin, Terra Hall was the first place that gave us the opportunity to play out. And so whenever they call us and say, "Hey, can you come down for Friday night?" we're like, "Of course we can."
And it's always a great audience. It's just like I always say that it's like the people that go down there to listen to music are there to listen to music, and they will accept anything you have for them.
Yeah, they're very gracious audience.
Festivals, you got to pound out a lot of energy, or people just get up and walk someplace
away.
else.
So what else is? Through the Irish Festival, through your band, and through your guitar making, you've met a lot of Celtic entertainers over the years. And have you had them stay at your house as well?
A number of them have.
Yeah.
So I built a guitar for Jed Foley, who's played in a number of bands over the years.
A house band.
House band.
That was one of my favorite bands back in the day.
The Battlefield band,
Battlefield
Scottish
band.
band. He played with the Celtic Fiddle Fest, which is an international kind of ensemble, and Patrick Street, which is probably the granddaddy of Irish bands.
Yeah.
So when Jed wasn't touring with Patrick Street or the Celtic Fiddle Festival, he would sometimes play with one or two other people and be touring, and we'd always find a place for him to play around here, and he'd stay. And Celtic Fiddle Festival and Patrick Street have too. And John Whelan, number of people. It's always fun.
Accordion player.
Yeah, it's fun to come home from work, open the door, and you hear this music sitting there playing in your kitchen. Like, wow.
Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. I think I could get used to that. Just coming home and having a band playing for you when you get in. Maybe some entrance music when I walk in. That'd be all right.
Yeah. You were at the forefront of the start of the Dublin Irish Festival. I know General Guinness played on the tennis courts.
So across the street from the festival at the high school, there was a dance competition, which is called Feis. And it's Irish dancing. It starts 8 o'clock on Saturday morning and goes to late afternoon. And because it starts so early, families would come to Dublin and Friday night spend the night in a hotel so that they're there and ready, for the dance competition on Saturday morning. So the Feis got the idea that they wanted to entertain these out-of-town families, and decided to have a ceilidh, which is an Irish dance. So we stood on the tennis courts at the Kaufman Park, and Betty Regan called the dance.
Oh, wow.
And that was kind of the impetus of the festival. So then the next year they decided to actually have a festival, and they hired Greenfields of America, which is a national, international band that, so many of the players from that era in Greenfields now have their own bands. Johnny Madden.
It's kind of like the Irish version of John Mayall's Blues Breakers.
Yes, exactly. So they had the festival, and Larry Doolin and I, the flute player in the band I played with, we were the technical crew for the festival. think first 2 years, I believe.
So you set sound for them.
Yeah, we did. So, but it's grown quite a bit since then.
Oh my gosh, it has. I remember, let's see, back in that day I was the Capital City Pipes and Drums, and it was that band and the Shamrock Club pipe band that would just kind of wander around the little area and play. We'd trade off, they'd play, and then we'd play, and then they'd play, and we'd play. Yeah, I still remember those days.
Yeah.
Wow, it's grown.
I would guess that the area of the festival at that time was less than 10 acres. I don't know, maybe even
Yeah.
6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking 6 or 7. 'Cause
How
it
many
was-
acres are we on now?
Oh gosh,
How many acres is that park?
I don't know. It keeps
it
expanding.
does. It really does. It's got to be 80 acres,
It might be.
I would think. 'Cause
It's huge.
it is.
And this time, if we do a show for it, we need to remember Jameson and not, what was it? Bush.
We did Tallymore Dew.
Tallymore
Tallymore
Dew. We were drinking Tallymore Dew while we were talking about the Irish Festival.
Dew. And then I was telling Mary Jo about it, and she goes, "You were drinking what?" No, it's got to be Jameson.
Hey, we got back with Jameson. We drank
We
the,
did.
what was it, 2 weeks ago? The Cooper's Cross.
Cooper's Cross.
Cooper's
yeah.
Cross.
Yeah.
Mary Jo is the one that obtains the sponsorship for the festival.
I know. Yeah.
We need to talk to her before we do this year's episode.
Well, I tried to get her on the show, and she kept putting us off on Pat Byrne to get Pat Byrne to do it, and Pat Byrne just kept saying, whatever, and he never came on. So that's why you and I ended up doing it ourselves.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah,
we should talk about this week's whiskey.
we should.
Real quick.
We should.
Sorry, we have to interject with the whiskey of the week.
Yeah, we're trying desperately to get a spirits sponsor.
Dear,
It hasn't worked out.
dear Glenn Morangi, we love you. We keep coming back to you all the time. And today, we have your Nectar d'Or. I think it's pretty good. What do you
It is.
think?
It's a nice scotch. It's a mild scotch. It's got a nice nose.
Can you read that? There you go. For all you guys watching on our YouTube channel, I just held it up to the camera so you can see it there. You need to try it. It's pretty good. We like it a lot. Send us more bottles, please. And this has been shameless plug for free booze with Pipes and T-Rex. All right, back to our regular scheduled program because that was probably rude. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Wait, we forgot to talk. What's your wine today?
Oh, the wine is from Josh Bittner's, and it's a California wine, and it is a Cabernet.
It is.
And what are your thoughts on that?
I like it.
Yeah?
I think all the Josh products are pretty good.
Yeah.
And there it is. So,
All
Josh.
different grapes.
So if Josh out, are they Sonoma? I think they're Sonoma. I don't think they're Napa.
I'm not sure where the
Oh.
winery is. I think
Buzz
the
is running to
grapes
get
may
the bottle.
come from different places in California.
Yeah. Let's see if I can read it.
You want me to read it since I have the
No,
younger
I'll
eyes?
get it. Oh. Hopland, California.
Where's that?
I have no idea.
Oh, no. Here, let's show the bottle so people can read the bottle.
There's
Here
the
we go.
bottle.
All right, guys. Here's the bottle.
It's probably on a hill or in a valley.
Yeah.
There we go. Can you read that? There you go. So give them a shout out, and you can send us some wine too. We like you too. All right. Now this has officially been a shameless plug for Josh Wine with T-Rex and Pipes.
Now, within the Irish music community, there's such a thing as a session. And you've been involved in sessions for as long as I can remember, way back in the St. Patrick's Church downtown.
Yes. The Irish speakers, the Gaelic League, commemorating the birthday of, who was it? I can't even remember.
Wait, you said there's a Gaelic league?
And I don't know that they're active anymore, but they were very, very active. So they gave lessons in Irish.
Oh, wow.
And they would have this party in commemoration of somebody's birthday, and I should be able to remember who it was. Some poet, probably. So I gathered some people together for a session, and Ted Jordan actually led it. After it's over, Ted says, why don't you see if we can do this again, So
Oh yeah.
talked to the AOH. Started out slowly, but turned into be one of the underground hits of the city. But session is how the music is learned in Ireland, in the United States, in Australia, in England, and all over the world today. It's sitting in a circle. There's always a round table in the middle, and pints of the black stuff all the way,
Oh yeah.
all the way around.
All the way around.
Usually the table was kind of low, and in Ireland especially, and then and they sit on these stools just about the same height you were sitting on right here.
Yeah.
And that's how the younger players learn the tunes from the older players, and just passed on. And that tradition, it's alive around the world.
And it's like a jam session then?
No, exactly.
It's like a
exactly
jam session. We refuse to call it a jam.
No, I got you,
But
It's a session.
You are exactly right.
okay. So that's how, and they're imparting their wisdom on the younger people that are there, so that they can in turn learn.
They can learn the tunes,
Okay.
and there's some people who know ungodly amount of tunes. There's a fellow in town here, he might be a good person for your show, named Larry Sanger, was the co-founder of Wikipedia.
The co-founder
Say
of
what?
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wow.
We
need to talk to them.
And Larry can start from memory a few thousand tunes.
Wow.
That makes what's fun about
A
this
few
session.
thousand?
Yeah.
1,000. Well, the fiddler in my band, John, he says that he can play 500 different tunes. That's crazy. Isn't
I
it?
can't even pick up the banjo that I own and strum it more than once without messing up.
So that's Larry Sangler. In our session last night, there were two physicians, one of whom goes around the world lecturing. The other is a volunteer, belongs to an association, is like, I don't know what the name of it is, like the National Disaster Relief for America.
Huh.
He was president of that. He's retired now, but goes around, he administrates tests for physicians. And he always takes his guitar, because if he's in Chicago, he goes to sessions there.
Is that
If he's
Rick?
in San Diego, yep, he goes
Oh, yeah.
there. There's a lady sitting there with a master's degree from MIT, a professor, I can't say, Diane, where does she teach? I forgot, down south. Have no memory anymore.
No, I remember.
You go around the circle, and then all these people are way, way smarter than I am.
Yeah, they're all brainiacs, all
And
super
that's-
professional people.
So this is a big deal. This
And
is,
it's the fun. It's just to sit with these people. They're just very,
And they're
very,
all
very
good musicians. And here's the thing. There's a hierarchy in the circle, isn't there? Or there should be.
And that's why we don't call it a jam.
Yeah.
There is a hierarchy, but I have never, ever seen the humblest musician come to a session and be ignored. On the other hand, I've seen some pretty good players be ostracized because they were show-offs.
Yeah.
So if you come to the session with the right attitude, your level is not important.
Right.
But there is a hierarchy, and there's usually a leader. Usually the leaders are very, very good at stringing tunes together, so they can play one tune and be thinking of another one that goes well with it, while they're playing the first tune.
oh wow.
Oh, yeah. And there's no pause. It's just like, we're done with the first tune, boom, we're in the second tune. We're done with the second tune, boom, we're into the
So
third
you just
tune.
are flowing right through,
And every now and then a musician might kind of, once that takes off, they might go, oh, what is this? Oh yeah, I know this, and boom, they're off and running too.
so as soon as they get a couple chords in and they realize what
Exactly.
what path we're going down, they just start running.
And to speak to what Tom was saying about humble musicians, there's a fiddler in town, phenomenal fiddler, Sandy Jones. who is one of the most gracious individuals you'll ever run into. I mean, this guy's a phenomenal fiddler, and I've had the honor of playing with him at a couple of parties over the years, and he will, I don't know how the hell he does it, but he'll play in a way that makes you sound better than you are. Right?
I need that guy.
You're not the only one that said that.
Yeah.
So my friend Jed Foley, that played with Patrick State, he would rather play with Sandy Jones than any of these stars that he's played with.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just Sandy's toured with Jed's band internationally, the house band. Sandy also toured with Hank McCoy and the Dead Ringers.
Wow.
But mostly he just plays for the love of the music, and that's the way most of the session players are.
Yes, they are.
It's not performance; it's just the love of the music and a very healthy respect for the music.
But the hierarchy that I was talking about, the inner circle is usually the people who are the better players, for
Yes.
lack of a better way of describing it.
Yep.
And then you kind of move out into the outer
Out of the
circles.
rings.
Wait,
Or
there's
rings.
rings?
Yeah, because you have a round table, and so everybody sits around the table.
There could be 20 people or more.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
and everybody's playing. And there's been times when Susan and I, when they used to have the sessions down at the Claudia downtown, we would go and we'd kind of sit back because we enjoy the music, and there'd be people who would show up, who would start playing and try to blend in, and it's like, oh no, oh my God, just sit down, put your instrument away and sit down. But you know, but those, and they're probably fine out in the periphery, but those people wouldn't be sitting in the inner
No,
circle.
well, of course you're.
Again, it's not a jam. You
It's
don't
not a
come.
jam.
You don't come and fiddle around. You don't come and learn, because these people that are in their circle, they play hours every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Hmm.
It's, they take it very seriously. Again, you approach with attitude. They're going to stop at some point and ask you what tune you like to play, and they would encourage you to start the tune yourself. If you don't want it, they'll start it.
I actually had the honor to take my button box down to one of the sessions, and they let me sit in for a couple of sets.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's
It was a huge. I felt it was a huge honor.
Well, yeah, because you haven't been playing that button box all that long either.
If you are sitting in that inner circle, and Sandy Jones or a better musician comes in,
You step
You-
up and
you-
make way.
you step
Etiquette-
back and let them sit.
Etiquette dictates that you make room.
But does that mean someone in the second circle has to move back for you, or how's that work?
Well, you find a place.
You find a
If there's-
place to sit.
it works pretty well.
Yeah.
The other thing is a kind of a well-known axiom that an empty chair doesn't mean an open chair.
Yeah.
So you can go in and there could be a better musician that's expected or hopefully is coming, and there's everybody has a chair for him.
Right.
So you have to approach it, with a little bit of knowledge, not very much, just a little bit, and be humble about it, and you're always accepted. It's so much fun.
It is. They're all great people. I mean, I haven't really seen an ego in the bunch.
The egos just don't last very long.
No, they don't. They don't. They kind of just get elbowed to the back, and then they get the message.
But it's very challenging. The music is going without the ornaments a minimum of 8 notes a second, and then the ornament that. I mean, just very, very quick.
Oh, it's
fast.
very fast.
And
Very fast.
You can't. Most people only hearing every other note, and it's played so that there are actually voiced and unvoiced notes. It's like every other one. They're there, but
I need to find someone to teach me to play the banjo so I can go find a session, sit in, and actually experience this firsthand.
well, you can do that. Except the banjo is different.
Oh yeah, it's completely different. But you know, I'll go to a bluegrass session because I'll fit in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to learn to pick, man. I've
You,
always
you
wanted
don't.
to
You
learn
don't
to
have
pick.
an Irish banjo.
So the Irish
Yeah,
banjo
I
is a
got
tenor
five.
banjo. It has 4 strings and you use a flat pick.
Yep, I got a 5-string. 5-string, beautiful piece of machinery that sits in a bag because I'm too stupid to learn how to use
You
the
haven't even
stupid bag.
shown it to me yet.
Yeah, I did. You
Did
came over to the house.
Oh, yeah, maybe I did see it.
You did. I broke it out. You played
Was
it.
I sober?
No.
Okay, that explains a lot.
What?
So we played this festival at Bridge Park a couple of weeks ago, and the band before us was, I'm not going to try to say their name because I'll mess it up. It was Dublin, and it was a big band.
Mm.
It's quite obvious when we got there, all these people playing jazz bands, big bands for a long, long time. You know,
Right.
They knew what they were doing.
Right.
But they finished up and they all cleared the stage real fast. The drummer, of course, has lots of parts to pick up. And
Oh, yeah.
we were coming up, and I came up with a banjo that I made, set it down, and he goes, "He's the drummer, you know. I'm a drummer too, so I don't
Yeah.
know what's he know." He goes, "What is that?" I said, "It's a banjo." He goes, "What is that?" I said, "It's a banjo, a tenor banjo. It has 4 strings." He says, "I know that. I have." He had 2 of them, like a 1920s and a 1930s, but he knew there was something different about it. So,
Oh.
I made it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, so you have made banjos too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Man, this guy's done it all.
So,
Yeah, it has.
Well,
I'm
that-
telling you. Renaissance man here.
but there's the drummer, you know, and I bet you all the rest, there must have been 20 musicians on that stage, and they would have nailed
Oh, just those banjos.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? You want to know who the manufacturer was. That's
it.
cool.
He knew he'd not seen it before.
Wow. And that's kind of a testament to your art, though, that he was that interested to find out who created it.
Well, it was to me that day. Now I can take to these writer sessions, and nobody asked me. So. Not my friends; they don't care.
They don't care.
Wow.
Just play, Tom. Just
Yeah.
play.
That's amazing.
Do you know what perfect pitch is? Within the music?
Hitting the note exactly at the pitch it's supposed to be.
No.
Well, then
See-
I have no
see,
clue.
You took a good guess, and that was a really good guess.
Yeah, I try, man.
All right, perfect pitch is when you take an accordion and toss it in the air, and it goes in a dumpster and lands on a banjo.
Wow. Wow.
So my wife plays accordion.
Oh, yeah.
We call ourselves the Ugly Band.
Man. Oh my goodness.
Nah, Judy's a great lady.
Banjos are awesome, man.
Yeah.
They sound great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, I took 3 lessons on a banjo back in the 70s and thought, nah, this isn't working for me.
Dude.
Went back to guitar.
Banjos are America. Bluegrass, born here in the United States of America. I love bluegrass, though. It's one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
I could listen to good old Rocky Top all
Don't they
day
do a
long, every day.
Bluegrass festival down there in Nelsonville?
I don't know. They do a folk festival down there.
Yeah, there's
It has a lot of bluegrass music.
Yeah,
in it.
maybe that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Man, I might have to check that out because
And the
I
banjo
love.
was born in America also.
It is. That's why I picked it up because I'm all American. Just kidding. I love everything, man. But I just love that sound. Growing up, my dad used to play what was it on Sundays? The something brigade, country brigade, or the good country brigade on Sunday mornings. They always used to play, or Saturday. This one radio station would play these people, and all they would play is bluegrass and do little skits and stuff. And it was every Sunday I was inundated with it, but I always fell in love with it. So it's just a sound I love.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Nothing at all.
Eh.
You just squirreled us.
Hey, I'm good for that.
Yeah.
I like to squirrel. That's what I do best.
Either one of us on any given day.
I mean, you squirrel whenever it's my guest, and I squirrel when it's your guest. It's just what we do.
And we're just trying to be heard.
I'm trying to relate, man. I'm trying to relate. Because I can't. I don't play French horn anymore.
Yeah.
So, I got nothing.
Oh, now, one other thing. You took General Guinness to Russia.
I didn't, but we went to Russia.
You went to Russia.
The last year of the Soviet Union. So we were accompanying some Irish dancers. It was really their gig. So we went to play the music. Irish Kerry dancers, led by Ann Richards, who's now deceased.
Yeah, a great lady.
Great lady. It was quite a good time. It was, as I said, it was the last year of the Soviet Union. Everybody knew there the curtain was falling. They didn't know when. Because they knew it was coming down, we got to see some things we never would have, probably 2 or 3 years before that. Although there were still plenty left. There was no, I can't remember if it was the second floor or third floor. And all the hotels, it was the same thing. Let's say it was the third floor. Every hotel we went into, we asked our guide, who was KBG lady, Olga was her name.
Olga?
Olga.
Oh my gosh.
She's well, that's communications. And then you get in your room, you could see that bug on the ceiling.
Oh, is that right?
Like,
You knew.
yeah. I mean, it was just one day we were in a park, and a whole troop of soldiers, and then they came up to my wife's shoulders. All I could think of, we spent all these years being afraid of these people. One night over to Red Square. Our plane was late getting into Moscow, so we canceled the show. And she took us to Red Square. And Jay, the bass player, guitar player, banjo player, that was one of the original members of the band I play in, General Guinness, his best instrument is harmonica.
Oh, wow.
He also studied Russian and knew a lot about it. He knew that music was not allowed on Red Square.
Oh.
And he'd taken some little 3-hole harmonicas as gifts, you know, so he'd get it out. So the night we went there, he had one in his pocket, and he put it between his teeth, and he started playing Hail to the Chief. And then he came running out of there looking for the music.
Oh my
he
God.
was just smiling.
That's so
That's great.
funny.
That is great.
So he made all the Ruskies run, huh?
So
They were looking for
he played up the part of the ugly American then.
Oh my goodness.
Good for him.
Yeah, they couldn't find where that music
Well, just don't look up there.
Why is there a 5 of hearts on your ceiling?
That's a story for another day.
Okay, sorry. I know you guys can't see this, but I looked up and all of a sudden there's a 5 of hearts just on the ceiling, and I know you probably can't even see it on the video, but yeah, okay. Sorry. I squirreled us again because of random things on pipe ceiling.
Yeah, there's just no excuse for you.
I didn't put that up there.
No.
Okay, so we're back there. We have all the Russians running after him for playing the 3.
They couldn't find him.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
that's right.
Had the thing in his mouth.
I don't think I've ever even seen a 3-hole harmonica.
Call them little ladies, and they're only about
Yeah.
an inch and a half or
So
inch
you can
and
tuck it
three-quarters
back
long.
in your cheek whenever you.
When they got near, he did. Yes.
That's crazy.
Got what, all of 6 notes out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
fun.
great.
3 holes. Yep.
Unbelievable. So what else you got going on in your life now?
Boy. Still standing.
You're still standing. You
That's
are.
true.
You are still standing. Absolutely.
Everything's normal. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Go to work every day and make sawdust.
Yeah. And so, when are you going to honor me and play my song?
Pretty soon.
Are you?
Pretty soon, actually. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Do you care to give more detail on what you're talking about so us
Uh,
peons that know nothing can.
well, because this isn't about me, but I was just curious. I wrote a song.
Okay.
So,
Several. But the latest one that I wrote, I got a rough recording of Carter and Tim performing it just to see what we could do with it. And I gave the CD to Tom and I said, Tom, listen to this and tell me what we think about it. And while he was listening to it, Sherry, the fiddler, one of the fiddlers in General Guinness, also agreed to transcribe the music for me in notation format, because I had difficulty doing that. I don't know why, but I did. And while she's transcribing it, she goes to a practice and says, wow, Glenn gave me this song to transcribe. It sounds pretty good. And Tom goes, no, I happen to have it on a CD. And they played it at their rehearsal. And I guess folks liked it a bit.
James is our singer. He's James O'Shea from County Kilkenny, Ireland.
Oh, wow.
And he says, we need to do that. He's the one that picks out most of the songs. Almost all of them.
So what is the song called?
Empty Chairs.
Empty Chairs.
Empty Chairs.
Guess what it's about?
Empty chairs. Bars.
It's about
An
a
empty
session.
chair doesn't mean it's an open chair.
Yeah, exactly.
This has a little bit different meaning.
Yeah, this has well. What I was doing was I was going through some promotional photos for Mad Modeling, and apparently the photographer was bored because we were doing silly stuff, and they had taken a picture of this brick wall with these 3 empty chairs in front of it, and I'm looking at it and thinking, oh wow, empty chairs. And then I started seriously thinking about the meaning of an empty chair. An empty chair could mean, oh, I'm reserving that seat for T-Rex, or somebody just got up to go to the bathroom, they're going to be right back. Or that chair is there and the person who normally sits there is not going to be sitting there anymore.
They're deceased.
Or, yeah, exactly. And so I latched onto that as an idea. Then I'm like, okay, well, how can I build something around that? And I immediately thought about the session and the chairs and the importance of the chairs. And that's how it took off.
Look at you being all deep and poetic.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? And I think I was sober most of the time when I was working.
That's
on
why it came out good.
Probably.
It is a good song.
It's okay song.
Well, I hope to hear it.
But anyway, so I get this email from Sherry saying, wow, we heard the song and we'd really like to do it. And so there's 2 sides of me there. There's the songwriter in me that's like, oh my God, yes, do it. But then there's the performer in me that says, well, let us at least premiere it first, and then after we do that, then by all means you guys can do it. So.
But allowing another band to play your music is flattery because they find it that good.
It's the height of flattery.
So what you need to do is quit being a turd and let them actually play the song.
Well, I gave him
he-
permission.
he is-
I gave him permission.
I know.
And the other thing that's funny is there's a program in town called Toss the Feathers, and we're going to try to get Anna on
Oh
the
yeah,
show.
you talked
right?
about that, yeah.
She was playing another tune that I had written, and James happened to be listening to Toss the Feathers, and he came in to rehearsal and goes, I just heard this song on the radio, and we should do this. And it was the other song that I had written.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So yeah, so have at either one of them. You definitely got my. Of all the bands in town, General Guinness would be the first band that I want.
Let me know when it's going to be played so I can come too.
And I want to see how they take it and how
Glenn's
they make it
band
theirs.
plays it all the time.
Huh?
So your band plays it all the time.
We do.
That's
And
awesome.
here's the funny thing. There's a part. Well, the chorus is drink a toast to the ones that aren't here. Drink a toast, but don't shed a tear. Their memories live on, and the jigs in the airs, and the chairs that are empty will always be theirs. And when Mad Modeling performs it, at the end, we sing that little bit of the chorus a cappella. And the last time we performed it was at Terra Hall, and I held up my glass, okay, for drinking Coast, and don't you know everybody in there held up their glasses as well? And Tim, our percussionist who also sings, he said he almost couldn't finish the song because he got choked up.
Oh jeez.
And that's exactly what I wanted out of that song. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a really poignant moment, but yeah. So I'm looking forward to see what General Guinness does with that.
We are too.
You are too. Well, I know you're going to elevate it, so I'm going to sit there and they'll do it and they'll go, damn, we can't ever do it again.
Nah, come on now.
Nope.
I don't think so. Oh, we're reaching that. Actually, we're over that hour.
Are we over the magic hour?
We did it.
How about
So was that horrible?
That was pretty easy.
Yeah, I figure. Normally when we get going, it just sort of
It
flows.
just rolls along. Yeah.
Just like the drink.
Nah.
I think that helps it. That helps it.
That's actually what helps us get
Yeah.
through. Last week was a little
Little rough, yeah.
Little rough,
because we had someone who had taken the cure, so we had to do it stone.
Well, we didn't have to.
We
He
didn't
said
have
we
to, but
couldn't, but
respect
I,
him.
out of respect for him and
We
what he
didn't-
does,
we
we
didn't
wanted to
partake.
make sure that we
Yeah.
Taking a pledge, huh?
stood there with him side by side.
Yeah. And the episode before that, we had my employer.
that
And that turned out to be, she drank along with us, and that turned out to
was
be,
all right.
That was fun.
She's a blast.
But this was a great episode.
This was a great episode. I mean, it's very rare that you get to sit down with a pioneer in a field that got to see it from when nobody wanted anything to do with their
We got to sit
if you
sit
will.
with the Stradivarius of guitar making.
I don't know about that, but
Oh,
I don't know, man.
You're
It
very
sounds like-
gracious and very humble. Tom.
See, this is why he
You
sits
are
in
a-
sessions. That's why he sits in sessions. He's so humble.
Yeah.
That's it. See, I learned something. There it
I'm
was.
humble in sessions, all right. And these whiz kids.
Yeah. Oh, and they take
Last
those
one-
tempos to astronomical speeds, and it's like, oh my
I'm
god.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Well, here's our one question that we normally ask pretty much every guest we ever have. So, if you had one thing that you could tell someone that maybe was looking to go into the field you're in or go down the path you've walked, what is that one bit of pearl of wisdom, if you will, that maybe you would give them, or is there something that you could say to help someone along that path?
Well, I don't know if there's one thing or not, but first of all, I'd say the craft is built on science, but it's an art.
Okay.
And there are people that tend to approach it strictly as a science, and I'm glad they do, because somebody needs to be stretching the boundaries, I guess.
Mm.
But they don't have the best sounding instruments, so it's still
Right.
it's an art.
Yeah.
There are a lot of schools that are available. Again, I went to the school of Hard Knocks. There was teach yourself. That was the only way to do it. But I think a lot of people expect to come out of the schools and be ready to build guitars.
Sure.
And part of the problem is it takes me at least 100 hours to build a guitar. I've done it forever. I have a shop that I built over a lot of years. So if you're going to a school and there are a dozen students, the only way you're going to build a guitar is you're basically putting kits together, or something like that. So I tell people it's a good overview, but probably look for someone to apprentice with. And when I've taught people, I always want to know what's their shop at home. There's no point in teaching. I mean, there's always more than one way to do any particular task.
Sure.
But I want to know what tools they have available. And you teach them to do that task using the tools they have.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just perseverance.
Follow your passion, right?
Yeah.
Great. Tom, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, truly.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you both.
This has truly been an honor to sit down with you and hear your stories. That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, again, a pioneer of your time, to see it from when it was nothing and nobody wanted your wear to all of a sudden where now it's mainstream, that people are looking for that special maker, if you will, that can make them that one-of-a-kind artist and piece versus just what you can get from Gibson or one of the big boys. You know what I mean? That's, wow. That's great to just be able to listen to those stories. Truly appreciate you coming out today.
No, thank you too.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug, or do you have any things that you like websites or anything that people can find you at, like your band website, if they want to take General Guinness on a...
Band website is generalguinness.com, and guitar building website is jthomasdavis.com. It's initial J, Thomas my name, and Davis my last name.com.
Is that all together?
It's all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, and both the band and Guitar Shop have Facebook pages, and probably as much on Facebook as there are on websites.
Oh yeah, everybody's doing Facebook now.
Except me.
Yeah.
I got off of there a while
You
ago.
did.
Although I'm back on somewhat only because of the Mental
podcast,
Rovers
yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
website, Facebook page. Outside of that, I don't use the actual account that's there. I just got tired of it.
Smart man.
Yeah, back whenever the last election happened, I just had enough, and that was the straw that broke this introvert's back, that he was just done. So that's another episode too. But
All right, T, you want to take us out?
well, I guess, but this has kind of been your show today.
Yeah, but you got the spiel.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, do you have any final words of wisdom before we sign off here, Pice? Any last things for the listeners? Or
Yeah.
viewers, if they're on our...
Oh yeah, viewers, hello. No, I'm good. I'm starting to get mellow. A little more scotch and I'll be fine.
Yeah, well, we only
Oh,
drank
we haven't put a dent in that
a
yet.
third of the bottle.
Yeah.
So we'll have this again for next week. So if anyone knows Glenn Maringi out there, go ahead and send that out for us. Send this episode to them, or all the other ones we've mentioned them, because they've been featured on this many times
anytime
before.
we've mentioned spirits and you know someone in the industry, just send them our podcast.
It's always our favorite. Help us to get on there. And also, don't forget, we still have... you still have time once this drops to contact us about your favorite coffee roast to be entered for our first drawing that we're planning on doing.
That's right.
To send you out some coffee from the roaster that I've been quote unquote one time, but I'm sure I'm going to be going back and trying to learn as much as I can from the show.
You got to take me to that shop too.
I will. I'll actually try to do a video of it
Oh,
too.
hey, now here's one.
Yeah.
The next podcast you'll probably be doing on your own because I'll be in Japan.
Yeah, and when he comes back, we'll do a special vacation episode where he can talk about his trip to vacation. He can talk about his trip to Japan, and I can talk about the recent trip that I just got back from to Branson, Missouri.
Seeing our brother B.
Yep, CMB. What up, B, if you're listening? So, other than that, anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right, guys. Well, you know how to reach out to us. You can hit us up on thementalrover@gmail.com. It's our email address. Instagram is roving_T-Rex. That is my personal account that I use for the show. Eventually, I hope to get Pipe some access to that, too, so he can throw some pictures up, too. But he's old, so I don't know if we'll be able to teach him that one.
I'm always old.
Twitter is Mental Rover Podcast. What else do we got? Facebook, Mental Rover Podcast. Yeah. And, you know what, guys? Help us out. Send out some love. Tell your friends to listen.
Oh, yeah. Please tell your friends about us.
Share us. You know, our numbers are steadily growing since Season 2 has come back.
You mean everything besides your mom and my wife are listening now?
We have 4.
4?
4 whole listeners. No, I'm just kidding. We have more than 4. But we actually picked up listeners in Russia. So call back to a discussion we had a few moments ago. So don't tell on the member of his band and get him in trouble with the old guard if they're still hanging out there.
Harmonica.
Yeah, we don't know who he is or what he did. But yeah, reach out to us. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. What can we improve? Are you enjoying the fact that I'm taping these episodes, throwing them up on YouTube? Oh yeah, YouTube is Roving T-Rex as well. Let us know what you think, guys, because we're really doing this for you, and if we were doing this to get paid, we'd both be hungry.
We'd be living in boxes along the Scioto River.
I don't even think we could afford the box.
Yeah.
But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, or whatever it is. And don't forget, rove on. See you guys.